Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, November 8th, and this is the AgYield War Room. I'm Dan Dempsey, and I'll be moderating today's session. As always, if you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to drop us a line in the chat area, and we'll be sure to get to it during the show. Overnight markets here had December corn up 1 3/4 at $4.29 1/4. January soybeans were down 4 at $10.22 1/4, and December Chicago wheat was up 1 penny at $5.72 1/2. This morning, we had a number of export sales announcements from the USDA. 107,000 metric tons of soybeans to China for 24. Also announced 132,000 metric tons of soybeans to unknown destinations, also for 24. And finally, 200,480 metric tons of corn to unknown destinations for 24. Good morning, guys. We have another busy day, but we're going to wrap up this week. We've got the USDA report out at 11 o'clock. Dustin, maybe a few thoughts just relative to what we, could possibly see reaction-wise from the report, what you're looking for today, and then we'll throw it around the room.
Yeah, so obviously a report expecting just a slight reduction in yield for both corn and beans. And, market is saying that we've been pretty tight. This is, there's always those chances for surprises, though, especially in these November reports. So I would try to go in with an open mind. We actually were talking before the report or before this show, and it does feel like they've got December corn volatility down quite a bit for the potential for a surprise on this report, in our opinion. Anything goes, right? It could be really neutral. It could be bullish, bearish. We try not to have too strong of an opinion. I'd say anecdotally, just with our base, we've heard a lot better corn yields than we've heard bean yields comparatively. So it wouldn't surprise me, just my personal opinion, to maybe see an uptick in yield in corn and a downtick in yield in beans. But, when you look at what's happening in basis, corn spreads, the strength we've seen recently, the market certainly thinks it's not getting enough corn flow right now. So maybe there's something to it. It's a pretty big country. River levels have come up quite a bit, and we have a lot of strength regardless of a strong dollar and a weak real the last couple of days. So I'm kind of again looking at this corn breakout and thinking this is good action. Hopefully we can see it continue a little bit.
Yeah, Ben, what's on your mind today?
Yeah, just looking at technically, corn has been pretty impressive. Above the 20-day, above the 50-day, above the 100-day. Short-term moving averages trying to cross against the 100-day. Puts the next target on, if you're looking at moving averages, at 442. I would be shocked, I think, if we get there. But with the report, you never know. Or again, not to be redundant, but we are seeing good demand. Options expiration goes off pretty soon. I would be very concerned with a little bit higher settlement on corn options and leaving a lot of people unprotected on puts that they may have bought and not getting them managed correctly. And then we head into delivery, and the next thing you know, maybe you're out 20 cents or something. So I think it's going to be a tricky couple of weeks. Volatility is certainly appealing considering the move we've had and the variables that are out there, both politically, global production in South America, and what we're seeing domestically for demand. So I think markets are looking like they could be a little more fun moving forward. I hope that the report doesn't squash that today.
Absolutely. Justin, maybe just to wrap up the week, I did notice too yesterday we got baseline projections, corn acres, down at or up to 92 million, excuse me. That'd be up from this year's 90.7. And interestingly enough, they got bean acres forecasted at 85, down from 87.1. So I know we got a long ways to go here, but just interesting to see that printed here yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think anything too surprising there. I mean, those aren't, they don't really step out too far. It's just some number they've got to throw out. So, I mean, nothing in there is really surprising. And I wouldn't put a lot of credence into it, but it's not a number either way that would be a shock if that were to happen.
No, market certainly didn't have an opinion.
No. So, yeah, I mean, I just kind of iterate what these guys have been saying, where we've had good rallies. Funds have covered a lot of shorts. We've done good demand. Obviously, a new president coming in. There's a lot of unknowns and excitement and fear at the same time. So markets are kind of moving around. There's, obviously money on the sidelines. We've seen that, most obviously in the stock market. I think there's money on the sidelines and everything. So if commodities start to turn up and, people feel like we've been undervalued and there's going to be a good cycle for commodities, we could continue here. So, I mean, everything to me looks pretty friendly from charts and demand wise. That being said, if the crop comes out a little bigger and, farmers still undersold, like we're going to have some good setbacks. So I don't think it's going to some new price level, so to speak, like $5 corn or $12 beans in the short run by any means. So I kind of think we're probably towards the higher end of our range. In corn, it's called $4.50 and to $4 type range until we know more about South America. I mean, even if we continue demand, that'll keep us maybe towards the higher end of the range. But if there was a lot of front loading, like we talked about ahead of the election, you can make the argument that, between now and the end of the year could be, headwinds in corn, especially. So.
All right, very good. And we will have a bonus War Room edition at 11:15 with our thoughts and comments post report there. So be sure to tune into that. Rylan, looking towards livestock here, still looking for cash to materialize here towards the end of the week. And it felt like hogs, were kind of victim to Goldman roll a little bit there in the front. So what's your thoughts as we wrap up the week?
Yeah, absolutely. We're in the roll period right now, but yeah, light sales started to get rolled out yesterday. Nothing too major, but definitely indicative, I think, of what everybody was kind of feeling. We saw the North posting, 294 and 188 for live, even down to 186 in Nebraska. So once again, just kind of reemphasizes that it feels like the northern supplies are a little bit on the heavy side for right now. Took a big loss in choice beef yesterday. 309.46. It was down 613. So we're just kind of coming off these most recent highs that kind of surprised everybody, I think, in the interim. So there's definitely a softer tone, but overall, I think you're pricing in a lot of that right now. And with the roll happening, we're seeing most of the volume, most of the commitment moving from D's to Feb. So those spreads could still widen out. I think at this point, that's what we're going to be eyeballing. And it's just a matter of how much these guys want to kick forward. And like it was pretty obvious in the hogs, at least on the commitment sheet, it wasn't, with net liquidation or net commitment was down 17.48. So wasn't a huge down, but overall, I think it just means that we may not be seeing them carry as much forward into February as they've already gotten D's. They got a record long position right now. It may be a little bit risky to carry that too far forward with the market starting to kind of soften up a little bit. Belly's really kind of led the charge lower. So I think there's going to be a lot of focus just on the cutout performance, just going into this, into today and the next week, and maybe see if there's any kind of surprise on the WASD. So we'll see what happens, but overall, it just seems like kind of trying to factor in a lot of this more kind of negative leaning news for right now to start.
Very good. Appreciate the update. It is Friday, which brings us to the most fun part of the week. It's Brian's Fun Fact Friday. What do you got for us, Brian?
Thanks, Dan. Happy Friday, everybody. We made it again. This Friday fun fact actually was given to me by one of our growers during the meeting here, so kudos to you on that. Tomorrow will mark the 35th anniversary of the Berlin Wall falling. Before I go into the Friday fun fact, I'll give you a little background on the Berlin Wall. It was built in 1961 at the height of the Cold War to seal off the borders between West German and Soviet-controlled West Berlin and East Berlin to prevent people from trying to escape communist-held East Berlin. The wall was 27 miles long, 12 feet high, and actually it was two walls, and in between they called it a death strip. It was landmines, attack dogs, barbed wire, and patrolled by East Berlin troops who had orders shoot to kill. So now kind of the fun fact on that was, the Berlin Wall was built to keep people in, but it came down because of one guy's very bad timing with the press release. East German official Gunther Schabowski in a press conference was supposed to tell people where they were going to ease travel between the two, but when a reporter asked him when would this go into effect, Gunter, looking like he left something on the stove, was like, immediately, I guess. So with that news, the journalist ran with it. East Berlin just charged the wall like it was Black Friday at a tractor event, so so the funny thing is, the wall came down from not years of planning, but one guy's very bad timing with a press release. So interesting stuff there.
Shaped the course of history.
It did. So happy Friday, everybody.
Very good. And thanks to our grower that participating in Fun Fact Friday. That's good. I wasn't sure where we were going to go with that.
Yeah.
One,
so kudos to him.
Pretty good stuff there. Anyway, one last time, USDA report will be out at 11 o'clock Central. And we will be back at 11:15 with our thoughts and comments and here to wrap up the week. So be sure to tune in 11:15 Central. We appreciate everybody that tunes in on a daily basis. If you wouldn't mind, throw us a like or subscribe. It'll keep you up to speed on everything AgYield. And again, thanks to everybody that supports the show. We are doing this live every morning that the markets are open. We're streaming live on X, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live, 8:15 Central Time. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and we look forward to talking to you again.
The War Room is proudly presented by AgYield. For over 50 years, the AgYield team has provided grain marketing and risk management solutions for growers across the country. Our veteran consultants harness cutting-edge technologies to pinpoint risk, optimize market performance, and protect your farm's profitability. Discover a new approach to farm revenue management at agyield.com.
Hey guys, Jack here. Be sure to support the show by hitting the like button, leaving us a comment, and subscribing to the channel for all the latest updates. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.